Welcome back. Next up we've got Jeremy Allom, an accomplished producer, sound engineer and remixer who has set himself up in Perth. We caught up with him at HQ and this is what happened.
Hello people, it's Shifty here and I'm in the art gallery at HQ here in Leederville. I'm also sitting on the sofa next to Jeremy Allom. He's a producer, engineer. He's got a list of credits as long as your arm, including people like Massive Attack, David Bowie, The Clash and The Specials. And he's also a mentor for the project that's going on here at HQ. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm good, thanks, Shifty. Nice to meet you. It's just the situation here that there isn't really a recording culture. There isn't an A&R culture in the same way that there is in the UK or America, which is where people come up and they're trained in a whole idea of what being an A&R guy is about, what being a producer is about, what being a recording engineer is about. The people here on the ground have been isolation, have left. It's left a kind of a situation where people know one thing and they know how to do that, and that's it. They don't sort of extend beyond because they just haven't got the experience. And the industry, the record companies here really, through the 80s and 90s, should have been bringing in producers and engineers instead of sending bands over there, which is what happened. You know, budgets were completely blown through the roof. There's no way the band was going to recoup, and all that money was spent offshore. And the potential for that expertise being brought to Australia and teaching the local scene here was missed. So it's kind of left a bit of a vacuum here in terms of what people... you speak to a lot of bands and they have all these sort of really muddled kind of ideas about what you can and can't do in a studio. And I'm going, what? What do you mean you can't do it? Yeah, well, we heard you couldn't do things like that. And I said, well, why not? The only limitation in the studio is your own imagination. Like, whatever you can imagine is possible. Anyone who says to you, we can't do that, big like ding ding, you know, we'll get someone in who can. You know, it's very simple. Anyone who tells you that they can't do that, or you can't do this way or that way. What I mean by can't is that it's like emphatically no. If someone is saying, oh, we can't do it that way, but we can do it this way, no problem.
What's going on here at HQ and what you're particularly excited about?
Right. Gladly, yeah. About 3 months ago, I discovered HQ and realised that there was a venue here, all ages venue. And it's like, wow, this is perfect. There's a volunteer framework here where kids come in and volunteer to book the venue. There's a room just off the side of the stage which is perfect for a control room. When I first got to HQ, I looked at the whole structure of the IT, portfolio, art, web design, the music. I thought, well, we could kind of run this place on a model of a record company, loosely, and let it be run by volunteers, their peers, you know, teenagers, whatever, young people, and just kind of create a resource here that will enable bands starting out to get a solid footing in not only sort of engineering and recording techniques, but also just like a big picture on the industry and what they can expect from the business. Just alert them to a few of the sort of pitfalls that are out there. I mean, educate them. This is what a producer does. This is what an engineer does. I mean, a lot of bands don't have an opportunity to actually find that out until they're in the studio doing it. And the group, at the moment, the Pavement, the group of participants have been just so far exceeded my expectations in terms of their commitment and their excitement about the project, so it's been really good.
I wondered if you could give some advice to
those
the bedroom producers, yeah.
Yeah, again, I think the word is collaboration. I think, or knowing when you're fried, because you get fried, believe me. You sat there, you've come up with the idea, you've started engineering the sounds, you've started to produce it, you've put layering it all up, and I hear very often a lot of them say, and I get to the mix, and I just can't get the mix right. And it's simply that you're just too close to everything. And that by having somebody else go, oh, maybe you could try this, maybe you could try that, is just the most incredibly liberating thing, because you've got another point of view and you've got another perspective. I mean, now it's possible to for one person to sit in their front room in London and someone else in their front room in Sydney, and they can do a session. So it's only a question of time before people start jumping onto that kind of potential and possibility with broadband expanding everywhere. And now it's, you know, who knows? But I think that that's going to be one of the main motivators for change in the future.